A federal judge yesterday limited the scope of a subpoena from the Democratic-controlled House Oversight Committee. But in limiting the scope of it, did allow for some of Donald Trump's financial documents to be turned over to the committee from Donald Trump's accounting firm, Mazars. Now, the judge said, well, here it is from the Hill. He threw out the House Oversight and Reform Committee's effort to obtain a broad swath of Trump's personal financial records, saying that the lawmakers' rationale of seeking to bolster presidential disclosure laws does not justify the constitutional concerns posed by the subpoena. Such limited legislative need cannot justify the degree to which the Maloney subpoena imposes on the separation of powers, even in the case of a former president. The more Congress can invade the personal sphere of a former president, the greater the leverage Congress would have on a sitting president. Okay, Judge, I'm not following you here. Oh, well, we can't do it for a former president because then they may do it to a sitting president. Good, right? We want the financial disclosure. Isn't that the whole point of all of this? Now, it's important to point out, because I mentioned this on my other channel today, there was a separate court ruling earlier this week on a different issue, because in this particular one, it was the subpoena to Mazars for Trump's financial records. In the other lawsuit that has now been kicked down the road all the way to November is when they're going to have hearings on that. That was the committee seeking Trump's tax returns from the Treasury Department. So those are two completely separate issues. So I don't want people getting confused if you hear me talking about two different lawsuits with two different rulings about Trump's financials, because they are two separate rulings. But here's the thing. This committee is now going to be able to get their hands on, I think it's 2 years of Donald Trump's tax information, both personal and business, related to his Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. And I think what they're really looking for in this particular instance, not with the tax returns, but in the financial records from Mazars, they're attempting to see whether or not the president was gaining financially, personally, from his holdings in the Trump International Hotel in D.C. They want to see if there was any kind of potential foreign influence through the financials of that hotel to Donald Trump personally. And honestly, I think that is a good start. I think that is definitely worth investigating. There were reports all through the Trump administration of foreign countries buying up, actually Saudi Arabia was one of them, buying up huge blocks of rooms in Trump International Hotel right there in D.C., paying in advance for them and never using them. So it was speculated, very easily speculated, that foreign countries were doing this as a way to basically give money to Donald Trump to curry favor with him. You don't pay in advance for a block of rooms that you don't need. So those are the kinds of things that this committee is going to be looking at, and hopefully the kinds of things that will be revealed in these financial documents. Now, much like the other fight over Donald Trump's financial or tax returns, I guess, actually, this one's not over. Just because the judge says, yes, you can have these Mazars, turn them over, doesn't mean they're going to be turned over immediately. Maybe it does. But most likely what's going to happen is there's immediately going to be an appeal by Donald Trump's lawyers. It's going to go back up to a higher court, and then we start the whole process over. That's what's happened every single time so far. I have no reason to believe that this one will be any different. But luckily, so far Trump has lost all of these cases since not being president anymore. So it may not happen this week. It may not happen this month or next. But I'm confident that eventually Congress is going to get their hands on Trump's tax returns and his financial documents. Let's just hope it's prior to the 2022 midterms, because if Republicans take back over the House, you can pretty much kiss all this goodbye. If you can't get enough Ring of Fire, we encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel for fresh video content 7 days a week. And for even more from me, you can follow me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @FairandBalanced.